Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. Today is Thursday, March 3rd. Okay, um, we're going to look at a couple different charts, but we're going to look at SPY, and then we're going to look at PCLN. SPY has a very important day tomorrow, very, very important, and we've been moving up very, very big. As you can see, we moved from the low here all the way up almost 10% or $18, $19, which is a huge move for this. It's moved along with oil. Oil has moved up from the 27 and has moved up pretty strongly. The data has been coming in mixed. To say the least, and earnings have been, in my opinion, pretty horrible. But who am I to take all that in? I'm more of a technical guy. So, based on technicals, the S&P 500 is in a very, very tight pickle right now. Let's put it off of these two, and then we'll do it off of that. There's two trend lines right now that we want to pay attention to, and that's this here, which is very important. And you can run the next one right here off of, actually you can run all this right here. Okay, that's another trend line, and there's one more off of this high set right here, which is pretty close to what these are right here. So there's basically three areas for this downtrend right now, and this one will fall just below that one, so that's where it is right now. Okay, so you have this resistance, and then this resistance here. Okay, that'll make for your really hard areas to get through. Now, a couple of things I want to take note of here is the gaps that we have on the upside. So I'm going to drop this down to the hourly and zoom it back in a little bit and mark these gaps that we have. Just so we have those for reference. We have this one here, 203.89, and then we have this one right here. Make sure I get that spot on. Okay, 200.75. So we have this big time resistance right now with this one here, and then you have that trend line, and then you have the 200 gap right there on this big move to the upside. So just looking at the candles, this is pretty much what we have in place right now. The trend line to the upside, and I am using an hourly chart right now. I'm going to switch it back to a daily in just a second because I just wanted to mark this downtrend, this uptrend line out. Now I'm going to put it back in the daily. You'll be able to see it a little bit better here. These are pretty much our lines in the sand, the most important lines that we could possibly have right now for SPY, and this is running off the bodies of the candles, and you could see the uptrend line it's very close here, and the volume has been anemic. I mean, it has just been horrible to get to these points. So tomorrow with jobs is going to be very critical, okay? And now I just wanted to do this with the candles so you could see these different areas, 275, 203.89, and basically where we are right now, and then a little bit higher are the exact trend lines for this right now. So switching to a multi-use, my multi-use chart, which has a little bit more on it. Let me just slide this over a little. There we go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this ATR. You don't need that. And the STO. So we're on a weekly right now, and I'm starting with a weekly for a reason. The reason I want to start with the weekly is because you could see what else is here, and that's the middle Bollinger Band for the SPY. Okay, so the weekly middle Bollinger Band, we closed at that today, which is going to be heavy resistance. We hit one of the trend lines on the weekly, so more resistance. Okay, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of power. If we close underneath this tomorrow, this middle Bollinger Band, expect this just to be a dead cat bounce, and this is going to fall right back down again, hard and fast down to this trend line here, and it'll be epic, just like it was going to the upside, and that's how the market is right now. It's going to sell off. It's going to drop a lot faster than it does go up. That's for sure. And as you can see from these other candles, I mean, they're just epic to the downside. So we've had a huge move to the upside. Relative strength index is 53 on your weekly, so it's bounced off the 30, had a nice recovery from being very, very oversold outside the Bollinger Band. I mean, all that was there, and then it broke a couple of boxes, consolidation boxes to the upside. So we're meeting some pretty epic resistance at this point. And if we drill this down to the daily now, you could see you also have your 100 SMA in the way right here, along with your trend line and your upper Bollinger Band. Everything is right there. You can see your stow has been riding across the top right here, and it's just a matter of time before something pops there. Also, you can see here your relative strength index is at 68.01. Typically, SPY does not go over it, but it can go over it, okay, as you can see here. Looking at the daily, but typically it does not go over it. It touches the line and then it has its big epic fail to the downside or a pullback, usually to the lower Bollinger Band. Now in this case, the lower Bollinger Band, you can see the extension is pretty amazing right now. It's really, really cool because, and the reason I say it's cool because I trade options, and options trading for this when this reverts, when this heads back down to the downside, is going to be great. Now I marked out a lower gap here at 186.95. We have another one in 194.37. Those are your two gaps that are sitting right here. Okay, your trend line on the daily, is a little bit tighter than it is on the weekly, of course. Let me get this out of here. Hold on. Just so you can manage your charts, so you could see it. You want to make sure that, because once that breaks, forget it. All bets are off. It's going to come all the way down, back down here again. So we really want to be, you want to be sure when this takes place. But your relative strength index is key. Is sitting up here at 68.01. It's pretty much overbought at that point. This point, but it does have room to make a little bit of a pop. But from my estimation, with everything we have on the weekly and everything else, you could see right here that this is going to be major trouble zone, and the volume has not supported an epic move through something like this, but we'll have to see. But we do have the 203.84 and we do have the 200.73. If we gap over this tomorrow, expect it to pull back down on the inside. So the key is for more bullish of a market. If we close over this middle Bollinger Band on the weekly chart, which is going to be about 199.80, just 190, right 199.75, 78, somewhere in that area. So tomorrow, if we close over that, then expect more of a move to an upside. But from what I'm looking at the lower time frames, it looks like it's going to be on the pullback. Okay, so dropping it down to the hourly real quick. You can see here's that little gap I was talking about, and your Bollinger Band, lower Bollinger Band's right here, and you just drifted to the upside all day here. Here's your trend line. Relative strength index is at 71.7 now. Okay, so that's definitely overbought. So we'll have to see what happens, and then you move your trend line. You can see once you break this trend line, it's a tighter time frame. So once this one breaks, then you move to your daily, and then when it snaps your daily, then you get a confirmation that you're going to roll over nicely. But typically we should get a push down when your relative strength index is up this high. They really just drifted this up to the upside with no volume, no big pushes. You can look at a 15 minutes sitting the same way, just drifting to the upside since it bounced off this 200 over here, and now that one's at 75. So it's definitely overbought. So tomorrow morning is definitely going to be interesting, that's for sure. Coming back to the daily, I want to look over to PCLN real quick because we have some potential fun for that on Friday. Everybody knows I love trading that one on Friday because I do very, very well on the options. Most times anyway. So let's take a look at PCLN. We're going to do the same quick analysis here. Nothing spectacular. Let's fix this up. All right. So we got a gap right here at 109.7. We want to make sure that we have that on there. Don't think there's a gap right there. We'll get rid of that. So we have this gap right here at 11.20, way down low. Okay, and yes, no, we're not going to hit that tomorrow, don't worry. But we've been in this consolidation and drifting higher little by little. I don't want to put all this stuff in here. We don't need any of this. Okay, then we have the 1426 gap. We had this gap 1327, 1373, whatever it was, and that one 1274. And that one was closed by the move to the upside. So looking at the daily here, you can see it's just been a little bit of a consolidation pattern. Two tight trend lines on the daily here. You can see this one here, which is a very tight one. It's really not moving anymore like it used to. It was doing, its average move is $38 per day. That's been dropping, and then you have your support right here at 1221 in that area. So pretty much that's the formation right now for SPY in this time frame. But if we drop it down to the hourly real quick, Okay, and I wanted you to take note of this little gap at 1275. Okay, 1275. Beautiful little gap here. We're going to get rid of this because I'm going to trade this tomorrow. So I just want you to see what I'm looking for and looking at, and then we'll take a look at the relative strength index and go from there. I am already positioned in PCLN. You can see here that we tried 6 times to get through the 1305 and could not do it. Okay, so that has been heavy resistance, which was fantastic, even with the market moving up here. So the analysis for this, with the market even moving up higher, this not breaking, it's definitely getting to a point where the buyers are nervous about something happening, and it just did not close all the way through. But don't get me wrong, this has been nice consolidation. We could go higher. So other indicators I look for that? What I'm anticipating is this line to break, and then we can get the 1274. That'll be about a $30 move to the downside from where it is right now. If we can get the market to roll over tomorrow, which will pay very lucratively. So we're going to switch over to the other chart real quick, so we could take a look at some other indicators that might help make this move. Looking at the relative strength index on the daily is sitting up here at 74 right now, which is a little bit high. Okay, we have this gap over here too, nice, but I really don't care about that. My main focus is going to be this 1274 in this area, which is also where is it? Did I get rid of it? Hold on, I don't have it on this chart. Excuse me for 1 second. Let's get this in here. I had it on my other one. Let's get rid of this and slide this in here. Okay, you can see a lower Bollinger Band is right here. It tried getting through the upper Bollinger Band several times, and this is the hourly chart. And you can see every time it hit today, here, that support, it bounced right back in. So actually, let's bring this up to the candle body. Sorry, that way you can see a little bit better. That's on all the bodies right here. So we are on the cusp of cracking this, and once we crack that, then lower Bollinger Band is inevitable, 1281, and then probably a spike down to the 50 and 1274 for this gap. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow if the market falls down. But it's very obvious that not getting through this upper area, relative strength index at 65 in that area. Without this break, if this breaks over, then it's going higher. But if it doesn't break over and it breaks this trend line, then it's going to be an easy move down here, which, with an ATR right now of 38 from where we are right now, that'll put us right about 27 is there. I mean, that's 38 right there. So potentially we could come down to the 1265, 1269 area tomorrow on a full move, because that's what the ATR is, and that's the only reason, and that's the average true range for this one right now. So with that move, that could be absolutely epic. But my goal is going to be the 1274. If we can get a nice downside push, that would be a very lucrative trade in the options. You know how those move. So you could join us tomorrow in live chat, and we'll be going over this all day. It is free. Just become a silver member, milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com. If you'd like to follow my trades before I get into my trades, there'll be a link on this video, and try us out for a month and see if it is fitting for you. Last couple trades have been absolutely epic on PCLN, and it's good to learn the technicals and watch the market makers and be able to understand what happens when things are overbought and so on and so forth. So that way it helps you make your money. So you can see in the 15-minute, nothing was happening. It was just nope. It wasn't breaking out under any circumstances, riding the upper Bollinger Band, and we did pierce this once. Okay, but on the 15-minute chart, we did. Okay, as I said, there's different time frames, and if you run these candles, okay, if you run the candles bodies, you could see what happened here. Okay, on the 15-minute. So we're on the trend line to the upside. We're on the bodies all the way through, and there it is, pinned it. Okay, and it did break this trend line, and that's when it started selling off, and then bounced back up. But this is where it starts your downtrend. Okay, because you've already cracked it on the 15-minute. Now that the 15-minute is gone, okay, your next trend line is going to be here, which is going to be on your hourly. Okay, so after this one breaks, that's why I don't have it here. I'll switch to my hourly chart and manage from here. When this breaks, I have my middle Bollinger Band. After the middle Bollinger Band, boom, I have a free ride down here. So make sure your relative strength index falls in line with that. All right, so that's a potential PCLN trade for tomorrow. Good luck with that. And if you'd like to join us all day tomorrow, we'll have a couple of different ones. So again, milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com. If you want to follow my trades, click on the video, try it out for 1 month, and I will definitely send you my alerts prior to me purchasing them. All right, everyone, have yourself a fantastic weekend.